The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
1420 Sports Bar Podcast. For beer, the sports talk, and a whole lot more. Join host Brent Radlinsky as he bellies up to the bar and gets the conversations going that'll make you think you're sitting in your local watering room. It's sports, beer, and shenanigans. So sit back, grab a few beers, and let's get into it. The 1420 Sports Bar Podcast, for beer sports talk, and a whole lot more for this 21st day of February 2026. Today's show is always brought to you by SeatGeek.com, the SeatGeek app. Use promo code 1420SEAT. That's 1420SEAT, and save yourself $20 on your first purchase at SeatGeek. Remember, we're part of the Belly Up Media Network. Go to bellyupsports.com for all their great sports articles and other great sports podcasts as well. Sports articles. Just articles, and other great sports podcasts. That's the right way we're reading it, such as No Credential Required, which I was happy to be on their show this morning to talk about the Olympic men's hockey thus far, and tomorrow's big USA Canada, at the time of this recording tomorrow. By the time most of you listen to this, the game will be all over and said and done, because it's 11:35 Mountain Standard Time here in Lethbridge, where I'm recording this. And the game starts at 6 a.m., so it'll be 5 hours and said and done, and it'll all be history and everything else. So let's get going here. This is a game for the ages. This might be one of the best games that's ever going to be played. The talent on both sides of the ice are it's unprecedented what we got going on. Hall of Famers up and down both lineups. The Americans had a little bump in the road a little bit, just like the Canadians did, but they survived the scare against Sweden in their quarterfinal. Canada, same thing with Czechia in their quarterfinal, and then barely survived the game yesterday afternoon, yesterday morning, or whatever it was, wherever you were watching it, against Finland. Late penalty, power play goal. We won't break that down, but it was scary. It was nail biting time. I personally, when Canada fell down 2-0, I sent Deanna a message and said, Canada, there's no way they're scoring 3. This one's over. I didn't have much hope, but they came back, stormed back, and got it done. The ice was tilted pretty hard in their direction, and they made it work on their end. And the Finns didn't do much offensively. Their game plan might have been a bit skewed. Their coach, who they didn't want there in the first place, they wanted Paul Maurice as their head coach instead. But anyways, it's Canada, USA rolling through to the much anticipated gold medal final tomorrow morning, starting at 6 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. Canadians right across the board from coast to coast are rejoicing. I don't know if it's in BC yet. I haven't talked to my brother and my sister about that. I can't see them going anywhere to watch the game, but right across, I know in Manitoba, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Ontario, anyways, they're opening up, and I'm assuming Quebec will as well in the Maritime province. It's a little bit later anyways, so they would probably be open regardless, but bars will be open, ready to go, ready to rock. We got our reservations for Brown Social House, proud supporter of the Lethbridge Bulls. They asked me to put their post up on our social media. They're advertising it, but people are excited. People are going to be go out and have a good time, and that's the main thing. And it's going to be very nerve-wracking leading up to that 6:10 a.m. puck drop. But it's funny how you read on the old Twitter X machine, whatever you want to call people in the down in the United States in general, they're up in arms, and they can't believe the start time to this hockey game. I don't think they understand how time zones work. And then when the games were over here in North America, you'd have to watch it at a certain time of night or whatever it might have been. It's just the opposite. Now that's how time zones work, and people have to realize that we're not the only continent in the world. We're not the only time zones in the world. So just suck it up. If you're going to watch the game, watch it. If you're not going to watch it, don't complain about it. Most Americans, there a lot, I shouldn't say a lot, but there's a lot who are tuning into hockey for once every 4 years or once every couple of years. After like the Four Nations last year, Americans were engaged. And then you have Americans being engaged in the Olympics because they're doing quite well. They won the women's game. We'll get that in a couple seconds, but for those of you who are complaining about the start of a hockey game, you weren't really invested anyway. So just after tomorrow, pretend you weren't watching anyways. If you're not invested, you don't need to complain about it. If you think it's an inconvenience, after tomorrow you can go back to pretending you cared about hockey and go back to ignoring hockey like you usually did. People who are invested in the game, whether it be patriotic reasons because you love the game of hockey for whatever reason, you're not complaining about the time of the game. Would I rather it be at noon? Yeah. Would I rather it be at 2? Yeah. Would I rather it be prime time like this Four Nations was? Yeah, absolutely. But I understand how this thing works. I understand how time zones work. And then the Olympics have to, like all the games, all the competitions have to be done by the time the opening or the closing ceremonies start, because they're the closing ceremonies. You're not going to have something carrying on so the athletes can't join or whatever it might be. I don't know if any of these hockey players are going to be joining in the walk, but I would assume the winning team will probably be more inclined to join in, or they might have flights because they got to get back to regular 9 to 5 jobs, if you call those 9 to 5 jobs, right away. But it's going to be interesting to see how it all turns out tomorrow. I'm not going to lie to you right now. I'm a bit of, that's why probably why I'm recording this right now. I'm a bit of a nervous wreck. I don't know. I don't have the warm and fuzzies right now for Team Canada. My word of advice to Team Canada is if you fall behind 2-0 again, or like you did against Finland, or fighting back cardiac kids, as I was saying on No Credentials Required earlier today, that you might as well turn off the lights and call it good. If Canada decides to try to fight back against this U.S. team that's remarkable, and they're no slouch. Like Canada's got, like I said, Hall of Famer. They got the greatest, the best player to ever play the game in McDavid on their team, and he's rocking and rolling, 13 points so far. And the Celebrini kid's the real deal, and with Canada, but that this U.S. team is no slouch. They're no joke. They can turn it on whenever they want. And they showed that yesterday against, it's a lesser opponent with Slovakia, but they turned it on and they scored. They scored early and often. It was 5-0, and then they just kind of coasted in the third period, and it was 6-2 final. Canada had to battle right to the bitter end. 30 seconds left in the game on a power play that some people are calling not a penalty. You listen to a lot of things. Even Timo Slaney weighed in on it about not being a high stick. Well, if a guy gets hit in the face, it's a penalty. Yes, did McKinnon throw his head back like he got shot in the grassy knoll? Yeah, but I don't know if anybody's going to hit the face of a hockey stick. It's quite shocking, and it kind of hurts. And that would probably be your reaction as well if a hockey stick came even near your face, let alone actually hit your face. It's just kind of an instant reaction when something hits you like that. So it was a late power play that Canada needed, and they got it, and they got it done. They won the game. It wasn't pretty. It was they were dominant in the second half of the game. Yes, they didn't give up like 4 or 5 shots in the second period. But it was they got it done, and that's all that matters in a tournament like this. Now it comes down to one game, winner take all. And by the time most of you watch this or listen to this, the game's already going to be over, and it means a lot. It's hockey for everybody who, obviously my American listeners, they know, and Canadian listeners obviously know, hockey means everything to this country, and it's I don't want to say it's all we got, but it's one of the things that we take pride in. It's one thing that we can all kind of get behind and rejoice in our successes, and rejoice in the memories that it brings you. I was watching some stuff last night, some old Olympic coverage and some old things that say you bring a smile to your face about Team Canada and the hockey world. And let's not bring up that the World Junior scandal from 2017 or whatever it was. But like in general, when it's best on best, Canada does pretty good. You think of the 72 Super Series, and you go to the Canada Cups, you go to the obviously the 96 World Cup Canada lost, but the Olympics we've had great success. 2002 was my Summit Series, right? Because I wasn't alive in 72. So when I was 28 years old, yeah, I'm getting old. It's a long time ago, 2002. You rejoice in that. You remember where you were and who you were sitting with, and it's a great thing to be able to have that, and a great moment to have that. And then you remember 2010 where you were, and then 2014 where you were, and now all these years later, 12 years later, now it's best on best again, and we'll be sitting at Brown Social House on a Sunday morning. I'm not sure exactly what who am I lying to? I'm going to have a beer or 2 or 3 or whatever it might be, and I hope it's an entertaining game. I hope it's not a blowout. I would rather Canada won 5-1, or I'd rather Canada lost 5-1. I don't want to. If you're going to win. If you're going to lose. Let's not have any more of these nail biters. I don't think my old heart can take it. And the rocking back and forth and nervous anticipation, that's just different. It's a lot different than watching a World Series game like of the Yankees or the Blue Jays or whoever it might be, or your favorite baseball team is. This is about national pride, and this is about something that's ours, and something that everybody can get behind. And everybody wants our team to do well. We have arguably the best, the greatest assembly of some of the talent in the world on our team, and the pressure that these guys are under is can't be understated. They've got 40 million people that are going to be watching this game tomorrow, I'll get political. If you are in any way associated with those morons who signed the Alberta separatist campaign for Alberta to become their own country or their own sovereign nation. You aren't allowed to watch this. You can watch the game, but you can't cheer for anybody. You can't show. Well, if you were planning on becoming American, then cheer for the Americans. But if you are in any way, shape, or form involved in political a couple times in a row in this show, if you're involved in that, you can't cheer for Canada. I think that just goes without saying. And I don't think any. Well, there was that one guy up in Leduc or Lacombe or somewhere where he rolled in, signed the petition for Alberta to leave, and he's wearing a Team Canada jersey and a Team Canada hat. So I'm going to speak for the rest of Canada. If you signed that declaration or petition, whatever it is, you're not allowed to cheer for Canada. Pretty simple. Okay, capiche? Good, done. Okay, there it is. But this should be a great game. We got McDavid, who's absolutely rolling. You got McKinnon, who looks like he's a little dinged up, which I'm a little concerned about. And Crosby, do you put him in at 80%? You know, he's a 38-year-old guy, 39 years old, whatever he is now. You put him in at 80%, but his hockey knowledge and his motivation and can't be understated. We talked about it this last week, but I don't know. 8 legs are a little bit weary because this American team can really skate. They can fly. Their defense is unbelievable. This Hughes, that Quinn Hughes kid, might be the game changer for Team USA, and that makes me nervous. Like the U.S. was one shot away from winning this thing last year in the Four Nations. Different tournament, but it's the same result that's happening right now. The U.S. is loaded. Everybody says how great Hellebuck is, and he's a much better goaltender than Binnington. But Binnington's won every time he's played. Like whenever he's given a chance to win something on a big stage like the Stanley Cup Finals, he's got it done. The Four Nations last year, but you never have the warm and fuzzies. At least I don't. I'm a little bit tough because I used to think I was a goaltender, but I don't. Even at 2-2 yesterday, you always thought that maybe a soft one was coming. But then you got to remember that this guy's playing in front of Cale Makar or behind Cale Makar and right. So he's not playing behind the St. Louis Blues, one of the worst teams in hockey. So you got to give him that. Bennington's done what he's supposed to. Made all the easy saves, a few of the hard ones, and here they are. They got a chance to win a gold medal tomorrow. And everybody was anticipating it was going to be a U.S.-Canada thing right from the get-go. And here we go. This is it. This is the one. This is the one that matters to all these players. This is the one that matters to all Canadians. This is the one that matters to all the players on the U.S. side because they're gunning for it. You think of all the heartbreak losses over the years because like a lot of these guys, it's their first Olympics on both sides of the equation. But this might be their last chance of getting something. It might be their last chance of winning something. You look at Brady Tkachuk, that little. I almost swore 13 minutes into this thing, but I didn't. Look at Brady Tkachuk popping off, and his brother's earned the right to be a mouthpiece and pop off. He's won 2 Stanley Cups, so he can say something. Brady Tkachuk standing behind his brother, being a worm and popping off. I don't think that's right. I mean, it's all gamesmanship. It's all part of it. I'm sure whatever they're saying doesn't really hurt anybody. These guys all got a bunch of zeros behind their names, behind in their bank accounts. So I'm not too concerned what Brady Tkachuk has to say. But that little worm hiding behind his brother and popping off, he's not a little worm. He's a big dude. But I don't think he's earned the right to do that. And I hope Marchand shuts him up tomorrow. And I said it. I hope that this is an all-out. I don't want to go as far as saying a bloodbath, but I hope this, and I don't want to say it's a war because people are living through actual wars right now. But I hope this is the battle of all battles tomorrow. I hope that this game is knock them out, drag them, do the whole thing. I hope that having Tom Wilson on this team pays off. I really think that when these two rosters were constructed, that they were looking to this game of how it's going to be all put together. Yeah, you got to get to this game to win. You got to get to the gold medal game to win the gold medal. That's pretty obvious. But when you get there, it was full anticipation it's going to be these two teams getting down to the nitty gritty. And so was that the addition of Tom Wilson? Was he the reason why he was included on this team to shut up Tkachuk, to shut them both up and grab their heads and round them together and leave them in the dust pile behind? Are you going to have Brad Marchand going up to Matthew and sticking him in the groin because he wants to win a hockey game for his country? Sam Bennett, same thing. Reinhart, same thing. The Florida guys. You're going to have guys who are playing in might be their last meaningful game of their careers. The last one that means a championship. That's why I think Crosby's going to play. I think they're going to load him up on whatever they got to do, cortisone and blah, blah, blah. I was already talking yesterday about getting a new knee brace for him. So I think Crosby plays, and I think him at 80% is better than whoever at 100. They're stronger with him than without him. But if he's going to be a liability, and you have somebody who's at 100 and he's only at 70%, that's the last I heard. But it's all speculation. Nobody really knows. And what's 70%? He's lying to you. There's no meter. There's no plug something into his body and say, oh yeah. Well, unless they have something for strength condition. Maybe they do. Maybe I'm the dumb one. But I hope this one's one for the ages. Like my heart doesn't like it because the last two nail biters lost the last two games, and even that women's game the other day when Canada was up 1-0 late and gave up the goal with the goalie pulled with 2 minutes and 4 seconds left, I think it was, and that was a heartbreaker. That one sucked a lot. And that's it. Yeah, I wasn't giving Canada much of a chance in that game. They lost 5-0 in the preliminary round, and then in their summit series, and they're leading up to the Olympic Games. The American women have been manhandling the Canadian team, and so I didn't give Canada much of a chance. So I turned it on as I was sitting at work, and Canada's up 1-0 on the shorty, and they were making it last. And look, they were playing a smart game. But the strength of the American women was their skating, and it ended up being their downfall. You just wonder if they would have won one more face-off, done one more battle. The puck bounces one more time. Canada wins a gold medal, and we're all happy and hunky dory. But now the weight of the world, not that it already wasn't, but the weight of the world is on Team Canada. Team USA really has nothing to lose. And by nothing, I mean they could lose the game. They'll be heartbroken. There'll be tens of Americans down across the border will be upset. But if Canada, like when the Four Nations happened, I said this before on the show, I was more relieved than I was happy that Canada won. And I feel that same way right now. I don't want the U.S. to win. And this isn't a shot against people that I talk to. This isn't a shot against my friends down in the States. This isn't a shot against Ryan and Dustin on no credentials required. It's not. It's not. I strongly don't want a certain orange menace to be popping off about this, and that's my biggest fear. And it's like I have to go to work on Monday morning. I have to go and do my job. I have other things I got to do. Life goes on. Got a special announcement next week I'd like to share with you. I'll be kind of really excited about. I kept it quiet from you guys for a long time, but there's something coming down the pipe here that I'm pretty excited to tell you about. But I don't want the U.S. to win for that reason. I don't want to see him on Truth Social or Twitter or wherever or on the highlights or whatever. For the guy who said he was going to get that China was going to cancel hockey because of trade things. I don't want to hear him saying anything, and that means more to me than most of it does. If Canada loses, will I be disappointed? Yeah, it'll suck. But if Canada wins, it'll be okay. We won again. It'll be a little more celebratory. But when you even when I played hockey, like you win a game, you're like, oh, right on. But losing sucked. And I was a sore loser, and I still think I am to this day. Like Canada wins tomorrow, you'll be happy, you'll be high-fiving, hugging, whatever, but it'll be over by 9:00. It'll be over by 9:00 tomorrow morning, and we'll psychoanalyze it. I'll probably listen to Ryan and Dustin. They're doing their post game. I even jump in and join them. But if Canada loses, it'll suck, and that'll. But if they win, it'll be hey, right on. But that'll be it. Losing sucks, and I don't want Canada to lose this one tomorrow, just for that simple reason. If they lost to Finland in a gold medal game, if they lost to Slovakia, Sweden, blah blah blah, it would bother me, but not as much as it would be bothered by Americans or an American person. The braggadocious that's going to happen. Canada wins. We're pretty genuine about it. Like we're like, hey, good game, shaking hands, kissing babies, the whole bit. But just how it's going to be a lot of people who don't watch the game starting to pop off about it, and that's the truth. Hockey's fourth or fifth down the totem pole of sports in the States. It is. Let's not sugarcoat it. And so for these people to be jumping on and saying things, it gets a bit bothersome. I was reading through Twitter just before I started recording this. That Keith Olbermann, I don't know how he's still on TV. Remember, he was on Sports Center, I think, way back in the day with Dan Patrick. I can't remember how long ago, but he just called this basically a glorified exhibition game between people, that doesn't matter. Oh, it matters, Keith. And this isn't a glorified exhibition game. These are two teams that are going to have a complete disdain for each other and a complete disgust for each other, and it'll be gone 20 hours from now, 19 hours from now, 19 hours and counting. But this isn't no exhibition game. This is the real deal Holyfield. And this one means a lot to a lot of people. I expect Canada to be great. I expect the Americans to be great, but I'm nervous. I'm nervous as heck. I think that the Americans' depth is a little bit better. I think that they're kind of coached a little bit better. They're not leaning on one line, one and a half lines as much. I don't trust Hellebuck like as much. As much as I don't trust Binnington. Binnington showed he can get it done. Hellebuck, sure, he's got a with the Hart Trophy and Vezina to his name, but chips are down. The Winnipeg Jets, one of the worst teams in hockey this year, and he's on that team. Can you say it's all the goalie's fault? No, but you can. If you're supposed to be this all-world guy, you get goalies can carry a team right to the championship, and the Jets haven't done that. The U.S. hasn't done it, and Canada's proven time and time again in these best-on-best competitions that they are the best, and that they'll find a way. There was that burp in 2006 in Torino, so maybe having the games in Italy is a bit of a tough point. The Miracle on Ice game, as Ryan told me, the Miracle on Ice in 1980 was on February 22nd, so that might be a bit of an omen for the U.S. Little nudge there, but I've never wanted a team to win so badly in my life as I do this time. 2002, yeah, I was nervous. Remember when I was living in Vernon, BC? I went for a drive down to Penticton just to get away from everybody. Had a couple of beers and drove home. I didn't drink. I wasn't hammered. A couple of beers just to get away and relax and try to take my mind off it because it was everywhere. And this before smartphones where you could actually get away from it. And I feel that same way now. I'm nervous. I'm very nervous for this game. It's not in a good way. I think eventually, like this thing that Canada has over the world in hockey, eventually it has to break. Even the Cubs won a World Series, right? So sports has a funny way of doing that. Eventually, these streaks have to end. 1980 is a long time ago, right? 46 years since the U.S. has won Olympic gold in men's hockey. It's a long time. So maybe this is their time. If they don't get it done this year, then when? I'm nervous. I don't have the warm and fuzzies. I don't feel. I hope I'm completely wrong. I hope when people watch this for the first time, they say, "Well, that prophecy never came to fruition." But I thought I would just come on today and talk about how important this game is to me and to most Canadians, to all Canadians who watch hockey and who love the game and don't and kind of get a laugh at it when people are complaining about the start time. Then don't watch. But we'll be there. Jerseys on, jerseys ranging from 72 right to today. Everybody have a jersey or a hat or a hoodie, a toque, whatever it might be, and then we'll get together and we're gonna cheer from coast to coast and right across the country, coast to coast to coast. I guess we got 3 coasts. Keep forgetting that, but it's going to be very interesting to see how it all plays out. Who's gonna if McDavid goes legend, he can't be stopped. But the Finns almost got us. Czechia almost got us. And it was, the Nick Suzuki's, the guys that scored a goal to tie things up late against Czechia. And McKinnon on one leg, he looks like he's a little bit banged up. He had quite a collision yesterday. That was unbelievable. But is it going to be those fringe guys? Is that what's Marchand got left in the tank? Because all these guys have like those Florida guys have played a lot of hockey in the last 3 years. Then you add the Four Nations, and you add this, you add going to Game 7s of Stanley Cup Finals. It's a lot of hockey, but both teams have that. And it's funny, like we're talking, and Mitchie Marner's overtime goal, a little bit of heroics from like last year at the Four Nations as well. But Mitchie Marner scoring the OT win the other day and celebrating, and it was great. And it's and Leaf fans, of course, are Leaf fans, and they're so why do you do it here? Well, he didn't have the same team. Mitch Marner, yeah, he didn't have the greatest of playoffs, obviously, but it's not all his fault. Mitchie Marner did not try for the Leafs. That's just a Leafs curse. We've been talking for 25 minutes here now and haven't brought up Austin Matthews once. Is anybody scared of Austin Matthews? Is the guy a great player? Yeah. Is he even top 5 that are playing in this game tomorrow? No, he's not. So that the Hughes kid is obviously McKinnon, McKinnon, McDavid, Makar. They're right there, the best players in the world. Matthews isn't there. So it's just the whole of its parts, right? And you look at that Eichel kid, he might do something tomorrow, and you expect him to. Canadians have all the weight of the world on their shoulders, all the pressure. The Americans are playing with house money. They can go and be footloose and fancy free. You're not going to play mistake free hockey. That's impossible. But they can go out and do something. They can go out and do something that no one's done, and that's beat Canada in a long time at these best on bests. I don't have a great feeling, like I said, but I hope Canada can pull this thing off. Not just for themselves, not just for my mom, not just for Gord Downey up in heaven, but for all the Canadians who love this game, for all the Canadians who are going to get up early and start pounding beers at 6 a.m. or 5 a.m. on the West Coast or wherever you might be. Yeah, I got a kick out of guys in Ontario, 8 a.m. Well, a lot of places open at 9, so whatever, just an hour earlier. Just turn back your clock. But just win this one. Win this one last one, and we'll worry about the next one next time around. We'll worry about who's playing in 2000, and I guess we'll be in 2030. Win this one for Sydney if he can't play tomorrow. Win this one for all those guys that lost in 2006. Win this one for all your hockey coaches in the past. Win this one for your parents for getting up at this 5 a.m. to get to a hockey practice for you. Win this one for every person who's going to brave the elements, to watch this thing tomorrow morning. Every person who maybe not having the best go of things right now in their life. People who are a little bit down their luck, they have this one time tomorrow, for some joy and happiness. Because there's a lot of people going through stuff right now. Should you put your whole outlook on life on a hockey game? Probably not. But for 3 wonderful hours, and 3 wonderful hours after that, and forever, you can help that person out, Team Canada. Be a part of forever. Be a part of forever and go win a hockey game tomorrow. It's going to be tough. Got to get some saves. Stop all the easy ones. Few of the hard ones. Recipe for success. Celebrini, I don't think, can play 23 minutes. He's a 19-year-old kid. Need some other guys step up, and I think John Cooper has to really, really straighten that out. Figure it out. And he's got what do we got here? 18 hours till puck drop. 18 hours till puck drop. So I'm a nervous wreck. 12:02 time this recording on Saturday before the gold medal game. It's going to be fun. I want a close game, but I'm hoping for a 5-1, 5-2 Canada win like in 2002, where you can relax and enjoy the third period. Because those close games the last couple of days, they weren't enjoyable. The end result was enjoyable, but the lead up to them was not enjoyable. I did not like that at all. It wasn't fun to watch, and the body language, and you're making saves in your office as you're watching the game. I don't want to have to go through that on a bar stool tomorrow morning while I'm watching the game. It's gonna be fun. Yeah, there it is. Win another one. Win another one. That's all we ask, and then we'll worry about 4 years from now. 4 years from now. Go Canada, go and win one for everybody out there. Let's have enjoy the game tomorrow, everybody. Make sure you don't get too out of hand if Canada wins, and if Canada loses, don't be an idiot. Win graciously and lose graciously, and I don't think that's too much to ask. It's too much to ask for a certain somebody south of the border, that Orange Menace. That's the main reason I want Canada to win this one. It's not about politics. It's just one guy's attitude towards life. And I don't need to hear it. I don't think anybody wants to hear it. And friendly reminder, if you sign the separatist thing for in Alberta, you can't watch the game tomorrow. You can't cheer for Canada tomorrow. Pretty simple. Anyways, there it is. Go Canada. Canada wins 3-2. 3-2, late goal. And Canada wins at 3-2. And we're all rejoicing, probably having a nap by 11 a.m. There it is. 1420 Sports Bar Podcast for Bureau Sports Talk and a whole lot more. This show brought to you once again by SeatGeek.com and SeatGeek app. Use promo code 1420SEAT and save yourself $20 on your first purchase. And remember, everybody, it doesn't matter where you are, it's who you're with. Enjoy the game tomorrow. Go Canada, and we will talk to you maybe even right after the game tomorrow. Thanks for tuning into the 1420 Sports Bar Podcast. For Bureau Sports Talk and a whole lot more, brought to you by SeatGeek. Go to bellyupsports.com for the best of sports articles and podcasts. Subscribe to the YouTube channel or wherever it is you get your podcast. Let's get it.